Hello friends and welcome back to my channel. My name is Katelyn from Florals.com and welcome back to Designing Disney. It has been a while since I've actually called my Disney layouts Designing Disney, but I do have a playlist of all the Disney layouts I've created so far that you guys can check out, and I'll have it linked down below in case you're in a Disney mood. But today we're doing Disney a little bit differently. I wanted to use some of these papers from a newer paper pad I have, so it's got these wonderful blues and pinks, which work perfectly for these really old castle photos I have, because when the castle used to be lit up before fireworks and things, it would have this blue and pink sort of tint to it. I'm not sure what it looks like now because I haven't been to the parks in ages, but this is what it used to look like, so this color scheme worked out really, really well. So what I ended up doing was using two papers from that pad and essentially matting them together so that I had a fun small border of that blue, and you saw me do some illusion cuts on that. And it will go in and out of focus here because of how late it was when I scrapbooked this, so I do apologize for that. But I ended up doing a very, very thin illusion cut so I could get that blue border around the pink, and then use that full 12 by 12 of that pink and blue vine floral pattern there to really just emphasize the sort of whimsical, believable world that is Walt Disney World. And at this point there is a little bit of gold from the dark blue with that sort of geometric pattern on it, so I definitely want to emphasize the gold, and luckily a lot of the Disney stuff that is super themed has gold in it instead of like silver, so I end up pulling out the words magic and believe, and those are all gold foil. And since there's so much black contrast in the photos, I want to be sure that I'm also bringing that in to help sort of give the photos a little bit more of a rest on that, because if you don't bring in more black or another dark color as an additional contrast substitute, you will find that your photos do seem a little bit out of place. Now that's not necessarily a bad thing either, that might be what you're going for, so it really just depends on what you're looking for. But like I mentioned, this is a very old process video, and it was filmed late at night because this was part of my fun Patreon scrap party back in September, and it was actually a grab 5 challenge to use some of my favorite things, which you'll see here include a bunch of different things. So here I'm just going to map both of the photos on some Lawn Fawn. It's almost a periwinkle color, which again is sort of in that background paper there with those light blue purpley leaves. And this cut apart is from the same paper pad. It was actually from the 6 by 6 section, and I ended up just trimming it out off camera. It has these beautiful florals on it, more gold, which of course is what I'm going for here. So it really just ends up stacking up in my favor to work with both the colors in the photos, which you'll see here there's a lot of red in the photos as well because of my hat, and there's also a lot of other random colors because there's a big crowd in front of the castle before the fireworks. So when you have photos like this and there is a lot you necessarily don't need in the photo, you don't necessarily have to trim it down. In this case, I'm ending up using this wonderful cut apart that I trimmed out and covering up that big crowd, so it gives it this illusion that we were the only people there, which isn't the case, and the memory will state that, but being among people back in the day before pre-pandemic, waiting for fireworks was definitely an interesting experience that I think will be different in the future as things are still not back to normal, but definitely something that I think we forget about with these changes. There are definitely memories that are going to be different from now on, or differently viewed, because there's never going to be that want in the crowd sort of feeling, at least for a while. So here's where I start working on the title, and I don't know exactly what I want, but I did want to use that word magic, and I end up pulling these gold foil alphabets, these block alphas, from that Maggie Holmes sticker book you saw me flipping through, and then I end up pulling in this font, which might be from a Maggie Holmes collection. I really wish they would write it on the Thickers package which collection it's from, but if not, maybe a Pebbles one. Just a really, really cute scripty font, similar to the word magic, just a little bit different, and I end up just spelling the word castle, so magic at the castle, because you are essentially waiting for the magic to happen at the castle. So I ended up putting this together, and I could not figure out for the life of me how the L and E were supposed to go together without the E being sideways, so I ended up figuring out how that's supposed to work. And it's definitely not the straightest title, but a lot of script fonts don't end up with a straight line underneath it either. So it ends up working out in the end for me anyhow. But as you can tell here, there is still a lot of white space, so at this point I'm thinking at the bottom right I could put my journaling, so some journaling strips, and then here I want to look through some additional stickers, which I'm looking for puffy stickers because that was included in the challenge. And I do pull in some floral puffy stickers, which are from Paige Evans. I have this sticker down here which says remember this, and it has a date spot. With my Disney albums, I do often put a date spot just in case I put it in the wrong album so I can eventually figure out where it goes, or two, because sometimes if you visit the different parks multiple times during one trip, it can be confusing to remember which day is which. So that's a tip. It might seem like it's silly because they're all going to go on the same album anyhow, but sometimes it just works out better to have it written down on multiple pages in a row than not. Especially if they end up getting mixed up some point or somehow. You never want that to happen. So including a date spot on every page, even my Disney pages, ends up working out for me. Here I'm using my Scotch Quick Dry to glue down my title because these are not the stickiest letters by any means. And I think, like I said before, having those additional pieces of contrast, like the castle die cut that I pulled out, the believe die cut I pulled out, and then this date section that I pulled out, really help complement the photos contrast. It helps bring your eye around the page because the photos have the most contrast, and then these are elements to help support that contrast. But overall, I really like this sort of diagonal wonky style layout by doing those layers of pattern paper in the background and then putting the photos on top of it. But to add another favorite item, I'm using this Simple Stories roller date stamp, and instead of dates it has different things on it like stars. And actually, I'm not sure, this is the Simple Stories one from one of their Say Cheese collections, but I'm not sure which one it is since I no longer have the packaging. But I do adore that one very much, and I'm so glad I finally started using it. Here's where I start adding a couple of finishing details. So I have a few wood veneer pieces. The asterisks are from a Project Life set. I have this Heidi Swap phrase sticker that says, I think it's XOXO a bunch of times, but again, just some additional gold on there really helps round it out here. And with that, I think we're almost done. I always look for extra finishing touches, especially from my sticker book, because as you guys know, I adore my sticker book. And I do find a couple of pieces, some gold foil hearts, some phrase stickers, and again, those phrase stickers have a little bit more contrast added in there as well, which we always look for when it comes to adding more stickers from my sticker book. Because you guys might know I am a stickeraholic, and more is more when it comes to sticker books for me. But I end up adding another layer underneath it with that label, and then I add two labels. You guys know me, I love to layer, so adding in those phrase stickers, the labels, and then a wood veneer just to top it all off really helps build out a secondary cluster that I didn't know I wanted or needed, but really helps fill in additional space as well as create that visual triangle look that a lot of people are after. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know what you think of this Disney, non-Disney layout, because we did use some Disney themed product, but it doesn't really scream Disney, which is something I strive for some of my layouts, because it's easy to just do the traditional primary color scheme with all of the reds and yellows. But I really love this sort of dainty look that we ended up getting with these florals and the purple blue castle in the background. But if you guys enjoyed, be sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more if you haven't already. But I had a lot of fun with this one, and hopefully you guys did too. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye guys!